In this video, we'll be going over Axions given, specifically 1872. Put a happy face on it. When Kevin Trudeau talks about, and ignore the background music, that's something else. That's knowing, like Nicolas Cage, it's actually very meaningful part of this. Chapter 21. This is going to get good, guys. We will go ahead and pause. Here comes the dog. That's okay. Chapter 21, Hades himself in the Book of Life. Chapter 21, Soul 21, with 3 parallel selves that we have found. 3-point shot. Check this out. You're only 17 seconds away from 16 seconds to fulfillment. When Kevin talks about the Michael from Chicago, when he talks about how this book is almost completely on track, it's almost 99% on track. The 1% that's missing is change this from 17 seconds to 16 seconds, change it to 1872. Okay, and once you understand why, you will realize that the book you really want to read is The Atom, which this book is close to The Atom. It's one of the closest books to The Atom that we have found. Although it is not The Atom, it's what the public knows about. But privately, secretly, there's something called 1872. As you know, 1 plus 7 is 8, 6 plus 8 is 14. That makes no sense. 1 plus 8 is 9, 7 plus 2 is also 9. That makes a lot of sense. So, let's write it out. Let's pay attention to what right here, actually. 1872. 9 and 9 to the left. This is the pyramid of knowledge. It is cloud 9, the cloud 9 teaching of Santa Claus. The first 9, as we know, is 8. So the first 9 is 18, second 9 is 72. 1872 is actually 18 seconds to 72 seconds. So when you know, you hear the click. Kevin talks about, you hear the click. Let's read this right here. With only a few seconds of focusing your attention on a subject, you activate the vibration of that subject within you. And immediately the law of attraction begins to respond to that activation. The longer you keep your attention focused on something, hint 18 seconds to 72 seconds, and think not only individually, but think as a team, tag team also. Consider the fact that if 2 people are focusing on the same time, that's the third 9, it's the whole team at Cloud 9. Now coming back here, within 17 seconds of focusing on something, a matching vibration becomes activated. And now as that focus becomes stronger and the vibration becomes clearer, the law of attraction will bring to you more thoughts to match. The question is, why do they say 17 and why do they not say 18? That's the real question. Did they do that on purpose? You would wonder, as someone that's channeling, you would get the actual number, not a number that's close to the number. But we don't know. We don't know them personally, so I have not met them personally as the recording of making this video. Although, like I said, it's very close. It's close enough, and you got to give them credit, because you got to give them credit for making this book, because like Kevin says, it's literally like 99% accurate. It's like it's about as close as you can get to the atom without actually being there. And remember, the atom is the one that's split into 3. The 3 bases on the baseball field, okay, which is the triangle of knowledge itself. Okay, drawing while recording, so it's not an excuse. We gotta turn into something. The atom, it turns into 3, 1, turns into 3, 1, 3, which is 13. Will Chamberlain, 13, John the Baptist, 13, Crown of the King. So check that out. 1, 3, and it comes around like a hula hoop, right? Run around the bases, end up at home. Frequency, which is 1. It begins at 1 and ends at 1, which is 11, D. Brown, point guard of the March Madness team, Final Four. Now check this out. 1872. You're only 17 seconds away, 60 seconds to fulfillment. So yeah, you can sit there and criticize that it's not 1872, it says 1768. But you got to realize they pointed the finger at this, okay? And so it's close enough to where you write the book, you publish it, you sell it, you make, a million copies. sold, or however many copies they've sold. And then you realize, you point the finger at, it's actually 1872. But it's close enough to where it actually works. If you do the 1768, it works. But you'll find out that 1768, it doesn't resonate as quietly as good as 1872 does. Okay, and the reason why is because it's actually 1872. It's close though. And so what we're coming back is to bring the atom back to the one, the all. 1872 is the atom that's split into three. Come back around home frequency. This is the pyramid. So understand, 1768, that doesn't make sense. Okay? 1872, that makes sense. Guess what 18 times 2 is? 36. What's 18 times 3? It's 54. What's 18 times 4? It's 72. Notice 1 plus 8 is 9. 3 plus 6 is 9. 5 plus 4 is 9. And 7 plus 2 is 9. Okay? And so that's how we know it's the pop on the bat that you swing. The pop, which is the peak of presence, okay? It's the volcanic eruption, lava. And by the way, give them credit for writing this book because it's close enough to where I found it, I read it, I used it, I knew it worked. And then later, years later, I realized, you know what? It's actually 1872. But it's close. It's pretty close, and it's close enough to where it actually works. It resonates enough, but along my journey, I realized it didn't resonate all the way. And what did resonate was 1872. And this is how I discovered it. Because when you focus on something for 17 seconds, a matching vibration becomes activated, which means you writing down a thought. And I used to write down affirmations all the time. Okay. And now, like Kevin says, I'm too busy doing it to write it down. And soon I'll be too busy doing it to record and show you what I'm talking about, which is really how you'll know I'm actually doing it. Now, and as the focus becomes stronger, the vibration becomes clearer, the law of attraction will bring you more thoughts that match. Okay? And so, as Kevin says, the point isn't to understand the minutia of all this, but it's to show that it actually works. And regardless of that, check this out. I'm going to show you one more thing. This is the 1872 mystery box. So this is Z, 3 Z's, the Wheel of Fortune in the mystery box, which is where you return, remember, recognize, realize, and reference and repeat, the recycle, which means it's spinning the Wheel of Fortune, the mystery box. So Pong, the presence of God, 1872. Any single thought that's coming in to you, the center of who you are, the soul, is inside the atom in your heart, which is the house of your soul, which is the H. And I can draw the H here. H is here. The door to the house is the I, which is the inferno. J is the key. So J, which is a lot of times it's a joke. The jokes you tell is the key to the illumination of the house. Now, the beginning of the house starts with A, the action. Action begins creation, and then DEF, you do the daily deeds before you DEF. Do daily deeds, which is the Tao right there, and then evolve, feeling good. Evolve the family, feeling the good, which is the whole thing is done where? In the house. The house, which is the baseline of the house, is 1. And then you go up 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 is the pop peak of presence, which is the presence of God in the center of your soul. And so as it's spinning around, it doesn't matter what you do. It always works when you choose 1872, which is 18 seconds. And once you hit 18 seconds, you continue what you're doing down this train. And you can either continue or you turn back around and come back to what? Presence of God. But don't just go around mixing it all up. And if you do, that's also fine, as long as you find your flow along the way and go where the river is taking you. The Jordan River, the one that John the Baptist was in. So, 1872. The train of thought that you take is something that you're focusing on for you to realize that what the mountain is. You will see the mountain when you're right here. Before you go anywhere. What is 13? It's the big ceremony, the crown of the king, the star on the tree. Notice how big it is. It's what you see. But notice how small 1, 2, 3 is. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's cloaked. You don't even realize it's there. It's small. In the beginning, it always starts small. And then it gets slightly bigger. 10, 11, 12. And then the biggest one is last but not least. 13, crown of the king, cherry on top. The icing on the cake, the one we all like. We all love the icing, but not everyone loves the cake. But just remember who the cake is. Asking is given. Jerry Esther Hicks, Teachings of Abraham, is the cake of the 1872 teaching. Switching it from 1768 to 1872 is just the icing. On the cake, it's the cherry on top. It's the real truth. Okay? But remember the cake. Remember who wrote it and give them credit. Because they pointed the finger at the truth. And it's about as close as you can get without being the actual atom itself. This is the atom. This is the one. This is the all. 1872.